Anthony Gordon may have just changed the entire transfer market, because behind closed doors, Barcelona are moving fast. And if this deal happens, the consequences could explode across Europe. Marcus Rashford's future could collapse. Chelsea are already making huge decisions. Manchester City are quietly planning something dangerous. Juventus have locked down one of football's brightest young stars. And right now, some of the biggest clubs in world football are preparing for a transfer war that could define the entire summer. Barcelona are no longer waiting. That's the biggest message coming out of this story. For months, fans questioned whether Barca could even compete financially anymore. Every transfer felt complicated. Every negotiation felt slow. Every signing came with restrictions, salary discussions, and uncertainty. But suddenly, everything changed. Quiet conversations turned into aggressive movement. Internal admiration became serious negotiations. And Deco's trip to England may end up becoming one of the most important transfer missions of the summer. Because Anthony Gordon is no longer just a name on Barcelona's shortlist. He's becoming the priority. And honestly, when you look deeper into it, it starts making perfect sense. Gordon's evolution at Newcastle has been unbelievable. This is no longer the raw, inconsistent winger people doubted a few years ago. Under pressure, he transformed completely. Faster decisions, smarter movement, more aggressive pressing, better finishing, bigger personality. He became one of the most explosive wingers in England. Defenders started struggling to stop him in open space. Coaches started recognizing how intelligent his off-ball work had become. And then came the Champions League performances that reportedly changed everything for Barcelona. When Gordon faced Barca, he looked fearless. Every touch felt dangerous. Every sprint created panic. Barcelona's defense looked uncomfortable every time he accelerated forward. And internally, those performances reportedly left a huge impact on the club hierarchy. That's when the admiration became serious. That's when the conversation started. And now, according to multiple reports, Deco traveled to England primarily to advance negotiations over Anthony Gordon. Not casually, not for information, not to monitor the situation, to push the deal forward. And this is where things suddenly become dangerous for the rest of Europe, because Barcelona reportedly made major progress with the player's side already. Gordon is believed to be open to the move, excited by the move, interested in the move. And once a player emotionally connects with the idea of Barcelona, situations can accelerate very quickly. Because despite everything happening financially at Barca, the club still has something almost mythical around it. The shirt, the history, Camp Nou, the pressure, the chance to become part of football immortality. For many players, Barcelona still feels bigger than just a transfer. It feels like entering football history itself. But now comes the hard part. Newcastle. And Newcastle are not a club that bends easily. This is not a desperate club trying to survive financially. This is one of the richest and most ambitious projects in world football. Selling stars is not part of the plan unless conditions become absolutely perfect for them. We already saw how difficult negotiations around Alexander Isak became. And now Barcelona are entering another war with one of the toughest negotiating clubs in Europe. That's why Barca are trying to move quickly. Because they know the danger. Premier League clubs are already monitoring Gordon heavily. Bayern Munich are also in the race. Reports suggest Bayern held conversations with the player's side before Barcelona accelerated. And once multiple elite clubs enter a transfer battle, prices explode, negotiations become chaotic, and situations can collapse instantly. So Barcelona's strategy appears very clear. Convince the player first. Build momentum. Create pressure. Then attack the club negotiations. And apparently, that first phase is already working. Which changes everything. Because now Marcus Rashford's future suddenly becomes uncertain again. For months, Rashford and Barcelona felt like a realistic possibility. The logic was obvious. A world-class attacker potentially available at a manageable price compared to the insane modern market. Barcelona liked the opportunity. Rashford reportedly liked the idea. Manchester United remained open to discussions under the right conditions. But Anthony Gordon changes the entire equation financially. Barcelona cannot endlessly spend money. If they commit heavily to Gordon, Rashford's salary package and transfer structure suddenly become much more complicated. And now Barca may have to choose. Do they go all in for Gordon? Do they still try to negotiate something creative for Rashford? Or does one transfer completely destroy the other? That's where the tension inside this story becomes massive because Barcelona reportedly have not completely abandoned Rashford yet. There could still be attempts to negotiate loans, installment structures, deferred payments, creative financial solutions with Manchester United. But United reportedly want clarity. Either serious conditions arrive or Rashford stays. And now one transfer could directly decide another. That's why fans online are becoming obsessed with this story, because every new update around Gordon suddenly affects Rashford too. And while Barcelona are trying to reshape their attack, Chelsea are making one thing brutally clear behind closed doors. João Pedro is not leaving. At all. Reports suggest Barcelona explored the situation aggressively because Deco is believed to be a huge admirer of João Pedro. Barca reportedly tested possibilities, discussed structures, and even considered creative swap scenarios involving players. But Chelsea's response was immediate and firm. No, not for a huge fee. Not for negotiations later. Not for player exchanges. No. Chelsea reportedly see João Pedro as untouchable right now, a key piece of the project, a player they believe can become one of the faces of the club moving forward. And honestly, this tells you something important about Chelsea's mentality now. For years, fans joked about the club constantly buying and selling players with no clear direction. But now Chelsea appear determined to protect specific stars no matter who calls. And this is why the modern transfer market feels completely different. It's no longer just about money. It's about control, identity, long-term vision. The biggest clubs in Europe are trying to protect future superstars before rivals can steal them away. And while Barcelona and Chelsea dominate headlines, Manchester City are quietly preparing something terrifying in the background. Because the Enzo Fernandez links refuse to disappear. The idea itself sounds ridiculous. Enzo controlling games inside Guardiola's structure feels almost unfair. His passing range, composure, intelligence, and tempo control make him look built for elite positional football. But despite all the speculation online, reports currently suggest there is no active negotiation happening between City and Chelsea for Enzo Fernandez. At least not yet. And that distinction matters because football fans often confuse admiration with negotiations. Yes, Enzo Maresca reportedly loves the player. Yes, City appreciate his qualities. Yes, the profile makes perfect sense. But appreciation does not mean a transfer is happening. Right now, Manchester City's priority reportedly remains Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. And that's interesting because it may reveal something much bigger about City's future plans. Younger profiles, dynamic midfielders, long-term evolution. Manchester City are already preparing for football after Pep Guardiola eventually leaves. And honestly, that's terrifying for the rest of Europe because even during uncertainty, City are still planning ahead. Meanwhile, Juventus have also made a huge decision of their own. Kenan Yıldız is staying. The young Turkish superstar had started appearing in transfer rumors as Europe's biggest clubs searched aggressively for elite young attacking talent. But Juventus reportedly shut everything down immediately. contract extension, full trust internally, long-term project status. The message from Juventus is crystal clear. Yildiz is not for sale. And honestly, it makes complete sense because every top club in Europe is searching for the exact same profile right now. Young, fearless, explosive, technically elite, globally marketable. Kenan Yildiz fits every single category perfectly, which explains why Juventus moved quickly before the summer chaos truly exploded. And naturally, football fans online have completely lost their minds over all of this. Barcelona fans are dreaming about Anthony Gordon tearing through defenses at Camp Nou. Newcastle fans are furious at the idea of losing another superstar. Manchester United fans are divided again over Rashford's future. Chelsea fans are celebrating the club finally refusing to sell important players. Manchester City fans are already imagining another terrifying midfield rebuild. Juventus fans are relieved Yildiz isn't going anywhere. Social media right now feels like complete transfer madness. Every update creates arguments. Every rumor creates panic. Every negotiation creates chaos. Some fans believe Gordon is exactly what Barcelona need. Others think Rashford would be the smarter option. Some believe Barça are risking another financial disaster. Others think this is finally the aggressive Barcelona returning after years of hesitation. But the most important detail in this entire story is simple. Barcelona are moving early. And elite clubs only move this aggressively when they believe the opportunity is real. Anthony Gordon is now at the center of Europe's transfer storm. Chelsea are refusing to bend. Rashford's future is hanging in the balance. Manchester City are preparing quietly. Juventus are protecting their future. And somewhere behind closed doors, another massive domino is already preparing to fall. Because this transfer window, it's only just beginning.